All right, today we are diving deep into Alex Hormozi's super counterintuitive strategy for starting a business. It basically involves throwing out almost all the conventional wisdom you've ever heard. So get ready to completely rethink what you know about pricing, about scale, and about starting from scratch.
And we're going to jump right in with this one single idea because it is the foundation of this entire game plan. See, Hormozi argues that when you're a new business, the marketplace is a battle that's really fought at the extremes, not in the center.
So look, when you're just starting out, you've really only got two paths. You can either sell something wildly expensive to a tiny handful of people, or you can sell something incredibly cheap to absolutely everyone. But that comfortable spot in the middle, trying to be a little of both, according to Hormozi, that is a death sentence.
Okay, so let's dig into this a little more. Why is that middle ground such a death trap? And why, weirdly enough, is starting expensive actually easier than starting cheap?
You know, it really just boils down to some super simple math. Every single business, I don't care what it is, lives or dies by one simple rule. You have to make more money from a customer than it costs you to get them. And a high-ticket offer, it gives you this huge advantage right from the start. It's the financial breathing room you need to make mistakes, to learn, and to eventually build the systems that can serve everybody else.
Now, this brings us to what is probably the biggest mental block for most entrepreneurs, this absolute obsession with being scalable right from day one. Hormozi's take? That's not just wrong, it's completely backwards. And you don't have to look any further than Tesla for a perfect real-world case study of this. They didn't start with the affordable Model 3 for the masses, right? No way. They launched the $250,000 Roadster, which was basically a super expensive, very unscalable beta test for rich people. The money, and just as important, the learnings from that project are what funded their entire journey towards making cars for the rest of us.
So how do you actually do this? Well, this is where the advice gets really practical for you. The most valuable, high-ticket asset you have when you're just starting out is your own time. It's the easiest, fastest, premium product you can possibly create. And this isn't just theory. Hormozi tells a story from his early gym owner days about one single personal training client who was paying him $4,500 a month in cash. That one unscalable client gave him the personal cash he needed to pump every dollar the business made right back into growing the gym. And the perks of this one-on-one approach? Oh, they are huge. You learn so much faster because you're getting instant, high-quality feedback. You end up working with more committed people, which honestly changes your own beliefs about what's possible. And because the supply, your time, is fixed, it naturally drives the price up. And the best part? You keep 100% of that beautiful margin.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't selling my time what poor people do? Well, Hormozi has a great reframe for that. Everybody on Earth, from the person making your coffee to Warren Buffett, has an hourly rate. You can calculate it. The goal isn't to stop trading your time for money. The goal is to just jack the price up so high that it is absolutely worth it for you.
Okay, so the why is clear. You get it. But what about the how? How do you actually sit down and build an offer that somebody would be willing to pay a real premium for? Let's get into the actual mechanics of it.
We're going to start with a little thought experiment that is designed to completely shatter your current pricing model. I want you to forget what you think is reasonable or possible. Just ask yourself this one question and see what crazy ideas pop into your head. So Hormozi gives us three kind of creative lenses to look through here. First up is the 100x frame. Just list out every single thing you would do for a client if they paid you an absolutely insane price. You'll be surprised how many of those ideas don't actually cost you much money. Second, the word of mouth frame. What would you have to do to make the experience so amazing that your one client becomes your biggest fan? And third, a totally different angle. How can you make your thing 10 times more valuable while actually making it more scalable?
But to really nail this, we have to go a little deeper. We need to actually deconstruct what value even means to a premium client, because it's not about just adding more stuff. It's about psychology. It's all about pulling the right psychological levers that solve a customer's problem so completely that the high price tag just makes sense.
Hormozi breaks this down into 4 key levers you can pull. The first 2 are about increasing the good stuff. What's the dream result you can provide, and how confident are they that they'll actually get it with you? And the second 2 are about decreasing the bad stuff. How long do they have to wait, and how much work and sacrifice do they have to put in? So that first lever, the dream outcome, is crucial.
And the trick here is to stop thinking about your current, maybe lower ticket customer. Your premium client has different, bigger problems. And if you can describe their specific pain point better than they can themselves, they will just automatically believe you have the solution. It's a really powerful trigger.
Next up is the perceived likelihood of achievement. Think about it like this. A generic PDF meal plan you download, in the client's mind, the chance of success is pretty low. But a daily one-on-one call with a top nutritionist, suddenly their belief that they'll actually succeed goes through the roof. And that belief is what justifies the price.
The third lever is all about speed. As Hormozi says, you don't sell wealthy people on saving money, you sell them on saving time. Making the result happen faster is one of the most persuasive things you can do. Just ask yourself a simple question: how can I get them this result in half the time? And finally, we have effort and sacrifice. It's pretty simple. The less your client has to do, the more valuable your service becomes. You need to go through their entire experience with you and just ruthlessly cut out every single point of friction. Engineer a truly premium, done-for-you solution. Okay, now for what might be the most brilliant part of this entire strategy: how this one single expensive offer can lift up your whole business, even if not a single person ever buys it. This is something called the anchor effect. When a potential customer sees your $10,000 one-on-one coaching package, all of a sudden your $100 digital course seems incredibly reasonable, right? That cheaper product actually borrows some of the prestige and perceived value from your premium offer, which makes it a much easier thing to sell. And I mean, the math is just impossible to argue with. Let's say only 10% of your customers actually buy the expensive thing. Well, in this example, those 10 people generate almost 3 times more profit than the other 90 customers combined. This is where the real money is, and it frees you up to invest in actually growing the business.
So here's the big takeaway. Just the act of creating and offering a high-ticket item is a powerful strategic move, whether you sell one of them or 100. Which leaves us with one last big question to think about for your own business. It's not about if someone will buy it, it's about what the process of creating it forces you to build.